if you're getting this, if you're seeing this, we are starting right away. This is the new format of the show. We're not going to do any pre-shows. We seem to be getting some temperature drops for the pre-shows. And so we are just moving and grooving right into live show the second that we go live. But with that said, I am a one-man band. And so we're going to spend the first 10 minutes of every episode kind of just in a lull, chilling out. Maybe this gets edited out. Maybe it doesn't. But this is No News is News. And welcome to part 2 of the Epstein birthday book. We are finally here. I'm very excited about this one. This one's going to be fun times. Fun times. So we are there and ready. Doo-doo, boop, boo-doo, boop. All right, that guy's good. That guy's good. I'm good. All right, so you guys are gonna wait about 5 minutes here, and we're gonna turn the lights on. We're gonna set everything up. Get myself a little some water to drink and stuff, and then I will be with you ready to do the Epstein book with you. Part two. Can you see? We are on page 81. It looks weird already. So part 2 right here. In a minute, guys. All right. Okay. You fucking ready? Let's get litty and ready. Shit's about to get real, guys. About to go full blown on this motherfucker. Full blown on this mofo. See where we're at, making sure we're all good. We are here. I am available to you. And as you can see, we are on one of the weirdest pages in the Epstein book ever. But before we start again, I am a one-man band. Before we start episode 109, let's check in on the feed. Make sure that all the audio is working properly over here. Subs, live, part 2. Fucking ads, man. People not looking for it though tonight. Doesn't look like they're looking to get into it tonight with us. We about to get into it though, y'all. We are gonna get into it. Part 2. Fucking ads, man. We are good. We are live in both channels and we are rolling. All right, guys, welcome to episode 109 of No News is News. I'm your host, Alex R. Wagner, and this is the show where we cover the news, but we also look at the news and we talk about the news and we make fun of the news because no news really is the news anymore. Episode 109. I am starting to realize that I'm going to format this show moving forward where I just jump right into it. We're not going to do the pre-shows. We're not going to do all of the lagging and all of the blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to show you one of my old short films or some bullshit. We're just going to dive into every single episode as soon as I get live because for some reason, I applied to that Rumble Partner Program and they rejected me even though I have a whopping 60 hours of streaming the last 30 days. So my only seeking suspicion is that they are not liking any kind of fair use material, any kind of news material going out, and that they just want me sitting here talking to you, which is this is what you all are here for anyway. This is the reason that we do this. It's the show. And so welcome to the show. Rewind if you fucking need to. We're at it. We're going live. Every time we go live, we jump right in. So when you hit the live button on Alex R. Wagner, you're seeing the fucking show. I'm not going to edit this shit. I'm not going to play this game anymore. We're going to just do the show. And with that said, I don't care about the news today. I really don't care about the news today because everything that I saw about the news today was pretty much just like government still shut down, AOC's like going wild on Twitter, and everybody's just all upset about whatever. At some point during this episode, we may jump in and take a good look at what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on over in Russia, Ukraine. But I kind of feel like we can get into that tomorrow because this meeting happened today, and I want time so that people can really, truly understand what the negotiations were, if there were negotiations, if they did figure it out, if they didn't figure it out. I don't know. I know that on Saturday I was reading about it and thinking it wasn't even real, and apparently today they did meet in Cairo. So that's all I'm going to say on that. We'll talk about Israel and the Middle East another day. Or will we? Because today is part 2 of the epic podcast extravaganza. The 100th episode was a good, I think, 5.5 hours diving deep into the first 80 pages of the Epstein 50th birthday book. Now, if you guys don't know, the Epstein 50th birthday book was subpoenaed by a House Oversight Committee about 2 days, literally 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And because of that, there wasn't really a lot of media or time for the world to pay attention to what we really should be paying attention to, which is this book. And the reason we should be paying attention to this book is because if you listened to the Ghislaine Maxwell tapes, which again is another episode of this podcast, if you want to go back and look at that, I think it's a 6-hour podcast. I did some AI videos in between, as well as just some security footage of Epstein while you listen. But it goes through in audio, the whole 6.5-hour interview with Ghislaine Maxwell with the Trump administration back in, I believe, June or July of this year. I was believing her for the most part. I found it ridiculous that she was rich and couldn't figure out why she was rich or what rich meant. But I've met a lot of rich people that don't understand being rich. So that was like, okay. And there were a few other like questions, but like she kept talking about massages, like they were casual. And then about 4 hours in, you find out that every one of those massages for the most part was topless. And she was saying she was a prude earlier, but then she failed to mention that every one of these massages were topless. So there were contradictions, but for the most part, she did seem authentic. And then the birthday book dropped. And she said in her interview, she confirms this is real. She made this for Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday. If we are led to believe her narrative, she was just somebody that was taking care of his properties. That was just a friend. But as we learned in the first 80 pages of this book, which you can go back and look at that podcast, Ghislaine Maxwell is definitely more than just a friend to Mr. Epstein. And it seems like there are two different British women that Epstein was involved with, one of which keeps being mentioned by his classmates in high school. And that one is not Ghislaine Maxwell because that person's name was redacted. And that person is apparently like what happened to him. Like he went to the UK, like he went to Europe one summer, came back and everything was changed. Then you find out that it was actually that the next year after that, after riding those bikes, chilling out, he went back and met this British woman. And his friends in high school didn't speak highly of this person and were actually talking shit about her. And the perceived notion from us, I think it was page 45 or 46 or something like that, right in the middle chunk, was that this was talking shit about Ghislaine Maxwell. But then we realized that actually there was a second person, a second British lady, and this second British lady who is redacted, there's a lot there. But as we were starting to get into the most interesting parts of the episode, I have my alerts on, and you can fuck off because, that's the final right there. The Cubs lost. Cubs lost, guys. Cubs lost. And with that said, I can put this on mute now since the Cubs lost, and we can go through the rest of this birthday book. Should I just take off my hat or should I put a different hat on? I feel like I should put a different hat on. Cubs lost. Just have one sitting on the side here. This hat actually was my mom bought this for me, and I said that's a really fucking cool hat. Thanks. It's a cool story. But my mom bought this hat, and I thought it was kind of cheesy. But then I noticed that there was a bite out of it, and that's pretty cool. So, munchies or not, bite out of my hat or not, let's get down to it. Episode or part 2 of the Epstein Files. And we were just getting started with the girlfriends. So we went through all of the family, all of the people that knew him best. And then we went through all of the classmates and all of the school stuff, which was quite interesting. That actually painted a different portrait of him. We start to understand. And then we're now here. We're halfway into the girlfriends. And what's interesting is this page that we have pulled up right now is one of the strangest pages, and it happens to be the page that we are starting with tonight, which is, it looks like a really brightly like overexposed photo of someone, maybe two people. And it looks like the faces have been redacted. So again, victims, I don't. The redactions are a little confusing here. And again, guys, if you want, drop a chat as you're watching tonight, because if you drop a chat, I will read the chats live and we can have a full-on discussion about what you guys think as we are going through this birthday book. And with that said, we are on page 81. And page 81 is the page 81 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book is almost entirely obscured by a large redacted blocked image. The page contains a single faded color photo. Redaction. The central figures and focus of the photograph have been completely covered by a large L-shaped gray block. This redaction makes it impossible to identify the individuals or the specific activity depicted. Only the perpetual details of the image remain visible, showing a blurry, washed-out background with hints of foliage. Unlike other pages in the scrapbook, the significance of this document lies not in what it shows, but what has been deliberately concealed. The extensive redaction was applied by investigators or legal teams before the scrapbook was released to the public. Such heavily redaction is typically used to protect the identity of potential victims, partly if they were minors, obscure nudity or sexually suggestive content, which this also could be that. We'll get, But again, I don't think so because I feel like there's a lot of suggestive content in this book, and just let it go. And to protect the privacy of individuals not relevant to the public investigation. So again, I don't know. Maybe there's something there. But again, if Donald Trump and these billionaires are relevant, I feel like everybody's relevant. And that lady, that British lady, is definitely relevant. But we're clearly saying she's a victim right now. I don't know that she's a victim. And we will get more of that probably later. The decision to block the core subject of the photograph indicates that the context was considered highly sensitive or potentially incriminating. This redacted page is a powerful visual representation of the hidden reality that the scrapbook curated narrative seeks to cover up. The redaction itself is a form of evidence. It confirms that among the nostalgic class photo and joke articles, Epstein's collection also contains materials that were deemed too sensitive or compromising for public release. While the rest of the scrapbook meticulously builds a facade of a normal life, this page is a stark, silent reminder of the dark and secret aspects of Epstein's world. It is a visual symbol of the crimes and predatory behavior that the book's nostalgic narrative was designed to obscure. The page directly confronts the viewers with the limits of the public record. It powerfully suggests that the full truth of Epstein's activities involved images and individuals who required legal protection or concealment, a fact that stands in horrific contrast to the book's celebratory nature. Well, yeah, I mean, it's a birthday book. But with that said, let's go check in on the next page. So what we got for this next one? Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know if that one's going to come up right. It is. Okay. Because this is a landscape image, the first landscape image in the book. And it's of some cats and a dog, it looks like. Looks like it's just 2 stamps. I'm not too sure. Let's see if there's some kind of hidden meaning that we have not heard of yet in this. Throwing it into the lottery pool. Let's go. Let's go. The redaction of that last image was, whew, that was intense. Processing image request. Deciphering visual cues. Clues. Cues and clues. How's everybody doing tonight? Doing good. ACL was decent. ACL was cool. Sabrina Carpenter. That was nice. I'm also sad that you guys are not interested in watching this. Like, this is one of the most intense live videos I will ever do. Maybe we'll just do 10 pages tonight. Maybe we'll do another one tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. Page 82 of the Jeffrey Epstein birthday books features 2 postage stamps affected in yellow pieces of paper. A small singular piece of yellow paper lightly... Oh, sorry. Let me pull this one back, guys. I'm sorry. The 82nd page of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book features 2 postage stamps and a yellow piece of paper. A small rectangular piece of yellow paper, likely a section of an envelope, is taped onto the scrapbook page. 2 U.S. postage stamps are attached to the paper. They are 37-cent stamps from the U.S. Postage Service 2002 Spay and Neutered commemorative series. That's insane. I mean, we'll get into it, but that's pretty insane. One stamp features a dog and the other features a cat. The words neuter and spay are visible along the edges of the stamps. Unlike the photos and the letters found elsewhere in the book, the pages in stark minimalist, and its meaning is entirely based on the cynical inside joke. The contribution is a wordless commentary based on the stamp's theme, animal sterilization. Given the celebratory context of the 50th birthday, the message is intended to be a dry, ironic, or crude joke about Epstein's life as a notorious bachelor. It could be interpreted in several ways: as a jest about him finally being tamed or neutered in middle age, or more darkly, as a blunt, derogatory comment on sexuality itself. The exact meaning is obscure, but it is clearly not a warm or nostalgic tribute. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one there because it's like, is it spayed and neutered because like they're just doing like a joke about him turning 50, like, oh, you're losing your semen, you're not gonna be able to fucking have kids, ha 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 ha, that kind of thing, like you're still a bachelor, blah blah blah. Or is it like, like I'll never have a kid, like the spayed and neuter ones are better? I don't know. This simple page is deeply disturbing in the context of Epstein's crimes. The quote joke of associating a human's 50th birthday with animal saturation reflects a profoundly cynical, detached, and dehumanizing worldview, particularly regarding sex and relationships. This is the very mindset that underpinned the Epstein's ability to view young women and girls as disposable objects for his sexual gratification. The message, a jest about neutering, is horrifically ironic. The scrapbook is celebrating a man whose entire life was defined by unrestrained and compulsive sexual predation. For this to be considered a, quote, funny birthday greeting by its inner circle is a chilling insight into their moral vacuum. The joke points directly at the very behavior that defines his criminality. The page is completely devoid of the nostalgia of charm carefully curated elsewhere in the book. There's no facade of the boy genius or the charming rogue here. Instead, for a brief moment, the scrapbook displays a cold, blunt, and ugly sentiment that feels much closer to the grim reality of the world Epstein and his associates included in the book's curator, Ghislaine Maxwell, actually inhabited. Yeah, it wouldn't be bad if it was in the school section. If it was the kids, if the kids were saying it, then it wouldn't be that bad. But the fact that we're 2 pages now into the girlfriend section, and the first page is we can't see anything, and the second page is spay and neuter your cat. It's not a crime, but it's very interesting. Let's get on to page 82. Page 83. Looks like some music here. This one's going to need some interpretation. Did you guys ever play piano or any musical instruments as kids? I did. I played piano, and I also played the trumpet. I remember going and getting my trumpet cleaned, and I picked it up the day of 9/11. What? That was a wild one. Yeah, because the people who were cleaning the trumpet for me, they actually needed me to go and pick it up. My parents to go and pick it up with me after school, because if we didn't pick it up that day, then we weren't going to be able to get it for like 2 or 3 weeks, because those people were immediately driving to New York to help volunteer. Again, like 9/11. Wow, what a time that was. What a time that was. And here we are with page 83. Page 83, guys. Page 83. We got some music here. Probably more dark interpretations. Let's see. The 83rd page is a complete sheet music of the classical American song, They Can't Take That Away From Me. God damn it. It's like there's not a single thing in the girlfriend section so far that hasn't been like inherently making him guilty. The song, They Can't Take That Away From Me. Composers, music by George Groslin, lyrics by Ira Gershwin. The song is highly romantic and nostalgic ballad from 1937. The lyrics list a series of small, cherished personal memories of a lover. Quote, The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the way you smile just beams. The central theme is that even if the romance ends, these precious memories can never be lost or taken away. Okay, we gotta see this one. Oh, I'll see. I gotta listen to this. We gotta listen to this fucking song. What is this? They can't take that away from me. They can't take that away from me. And George Gershwin. What? George Gershwin. George Gershwin, they can't take that away from me. Do we have a... This is somebody... Oh, sample music. They can't take that away from me. Here we go. Here we go.
When you write, your tone influences how readers respond. With Grammarly, just highlight your text and type how you want to sound.
All right. Here we go. The inclusion of this specific song is a deeply sentimental and deliberate gesture, specifically aligned with the scrapbook's overall purpose of collecting and immortalizing memories. It is not a joke or a piece of childhood memorabilia, but a sophisticated romantic statement. The song choice frames the relationship between the contributor, almost certainly the book's curator, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein as an epic and timeless love affair, filled with iconic personal moments. The document is chilling and peaceful piece of evidence, not a specific crime, but of the elaborate psychological and emotional facade constructed around the criminal enterprise. A section of one of the great American love songs to represent the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell is a grotesque act of deception. It attempts to recast a sordid partnership dedicated to the sexual exploitation of trafficking of minors as classic and beautiful romance. The document is a prime example of the scrapbook's primary function, misdirection. It uses the powerful, borrowed sentimentality of the famous song to evoke feelings of warmth, love, and nostalgia, thereby creating an emotional shed of the monstrous reality of the relationship. This page offers a stunning insight into the mindset of Ghislaine Maxwell. She either possessed a profound capability for the self-delusion, genuinely viewing her criminal partnership with Epstein as a grand romance, or she was the master manipulator, cynically using a language of love and art to launder their shared history for a celebratory audience. Either way, the page is a testament of the moral vacuum of the heart of their world. The memories celebrated in the song are sweet and innocent. In the real world, the shared, quote, memories of Epstein-Maxwell's partnership included a systematic abuse, rape, and psychological destruction of countless young women and girls. The document is the most potent example of the schism between the scrapbook's beauty and its fiction and the unspoken truth that it represents. Okay. So it's just a classical song, classic jam from Miss Maxwell to her partner in crime, Jeffrey Epstein. You know what's funny about this though is that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell both claimed that they weren't in a relationship. So why are you writing a fucking love letter where you're showing these fucking lyrics like this? Also, we are assuming that Ghislaine Maxwell made this entry because there isn't a notary to the entry, but it is in the girlfriends section of the book. We just saw spayed and neutered stamps as commemorative collection. And then the next slide was this song. So it may not be an interpretation of Ghislaine and Epstein's relationship, but it's definitely an interpretation of the the girlfriends of Epstein. And let's get on to the next page. What we got here? 84. Oh, okay. 84, we have some direct words here. Some direct words on page 84. And if you are just coming into this, remember, you can always drop a chat. Let me know what you guys think as we're going through the entire book. We're going through page by page, analyzing with AI what every single page of the Epstein book means to the world. What is the evidence here? Okay, I'm glad that even though this was another landscape entry, we are able to see the entire thing here. Page 83. You guys can read that out loud if you want to. I'm not going to read the exact verbiage because we're going to get into what it actually means in a second here. Okay. Page 84 of the Epstein book contains descriptions of the company that manufactured the physical album. Oh, so what I just played there for you, that song, this is who did the album of it? The page is a typed note from the bookbinder providing details about the album's construction and care. The album was specifically designed and hand-bound by Wetz Coleman, a high-end bookbinding company located on Lexington Avenue in New York City, established in 1909. It was crafted using only the finest calf and Moroccan skins, which were individually selected and vegetable tanned for bookbinding. The note serves as a statement of quality and authenticity, similar to the maker's mark of the designer label on the luxury good. The final page is not a personal memory, but a statement to the intense expense and bespoke nature of the scrapbook itself. It confirms that this was not a simple homemade gift, but a custom commissioned luxury artifact. The inclusion of this page is a deliberate final statement on the world of wealth and bespoke quality in which Jeffrey Epstein lived. It frames the entire collection of memories within an object of significant monetary and material value, underscoring the importance of this tribute. The page is deeply symbolic, fitting, grotesque conclusion to the book. Okay, let me read this one out loud because I think that AI may be misinterpreting this one. The album was specifically designed and hand-bound for you by Wetz Coleman, using only the finest calf and Moroccan skins, which are individually selected and vegetably. Oh, okay. It is. It is. It's the person that bound the book and built it for him. But that's weird to put that on page 83. Like we're not even halfway through this book, and we're in the girlfriend section of the book, and it's showing certification of the album. Now this leads to further proof that Ghislaine Maxwell actually was the one that was saying that song. Because to have that song and then have this binding, it's also confirmation that Ghislaine Maxwell believes, and so does Epstein and everyone else, that she is part of the girlfriends. She's part of the girlfriends. Was she in charge of the girlfriends? Was she the lead girlfriend? Well, according to the United States government, she was. She was the partner. She was the person. And she did put this book together, people. So remember that. And she's willfully putting herself in the girlfriend section and showing things about the book that she did specifically for Epstein in the middle of the book because it's the girlfriend section. So just remember that. 1 second, guys. I got to just drop real quick. I got to fucking drop the fucking temperature. Woo! You get those lights on and it starts cooking. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. Page 85. The first 5 years, part 2. Oh, so if we would have, that kind of sucks. If we would have 4 more pages, we would have got to part 2. And that also makes sense why the binding is there now. That was the end of the first book. There's clearly 2 additions to this, the first 50 years. That was the end of the girlfriend section. The end of the girlfriend section technically was this song. They can't take that away from me. The lyrics and literal music notes of the song, they can't take that away from me, were the end of the girlfriend section and the end of part 1 of the part 2 of the Epstein birthday book. They can't take that away from me. Okay? Let's get into part 2 now. This is page 1 of part 2. Work, 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 work. Okay, so it looks like we're getting into work now. We're getting into the work zone. See who these people are. Oh, man. Remember, guys, if you are just joining us, you can drop a chat at any point. I read all chats live as we go through all of this, and you can discuss with me. Tell me what you guys think. Let's have a discussion. What do you think of the birthday book? What's going on here? And here we go. Page 86. I'm only reading the connection to the scandal if the connection to the scandal is something that I feel like I need more information from moving forward, because that third part, connection to the scandal, I feel like we just keep getting repeats. They're trying to build a narrative that it's evidence no matter what it is. So like when we see musical notes, they're like, this is actually a stark contrast to the da-da-da. Okay, we don't need to be a lawyer about the fucking music notes, all right? Like, so page 86 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book is dedicated to his personal or to his professional life. Let me do that again. Page 86 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book is a dedication to his professional life. The page is a dynamic collage of numerous photographs featuring Jeffrey Epstein in professional and formal attire. Epstein is shown in various settings that suggest a high-powered career. In a suit against a New York City skyline, in a tuxedo at a social event, and interacting with other individuals whose faces are largely redacted. 4 separate speech bubbles containing the single capitalized word work are pasted across the collage, repeatedly emphasizing the theme. Multiple faces and figures in the photographs have been obscured with black boxes indicating the presence of other individuals whose identities have been legally protected in the public release of the documents. Now, with this one, this is interesting to me, because most of these people that are redacted in this page are men. And so it's like, what are we doing here? Are we like, how are we going to let Alan Dershowitz and Donald Trump and all of these other people have their public records exposed, even though they aren't criminals? But then we're going to redact other individuals. It's really starting to get weird. First, on the part 1 that we were doing, we saw that the secondary English girlfriend. And now we're seeing that in the work section. I believe that like that is one of the public figures. That might be Alan Dershowitz himself, but it's clearly like a billionaire. But every other male figure, every other person he's connecting with is in a suit in the 70s. I can imply from that they are not women. They're not victims of his crimes then. Why are they being redacted? Why are people that aren't truly victims being redacted if later on when we get to the Trump page, we're not going to redact Trump's name? That is a very fucking interesting question for this House Oversight Committee. The page is a clear and deliberate celebration of Jeffrey Epstein's public-facing persona, the powerful, successful, and tirelessly hardworking financier. The repeated word work frames his life of luxury, social events, and high finance not as a leisure, but as a deserved outcome of intense professional dedication. The page is designed to mythologize his career and portray him as a commanding figure in the business world. Look, here's the thing, is that, and I don't like this, because I feel like this is like mostly a liberal thought, which is like people thinking that people just get ahead without working. Even if you're a pedophile with billions of dollars on a pedophile island, the only way you get to pedophile island is by working hard as a pedophile. Like, I can admit that. You can work hard as a pedophile. Do I want pedophiles working hard? No, I do. I would rather them be lazy. But it is a weird thing that we do in society when we think that everybody that's a criminal is just duping us and that they're all just arrogant stupid heads, but that everybody that has a moral ground is somehow smarter. You can be morally sound and be really fucking dumb. And you can be the worst, most egregious pedophile in the world and be one of the smartest human beings that's ever existed. So we need to understand the caliber of what we're dealing with here and not dismiss it outright. All right, now on to page 87. Page 87. More music notes now. They can't take that away from me again. Why would they do that? Let's see if our chatbot has any interest in understanding why they would put the page in there again at the top. That is interesting. So they had that. They can't take that away from me at the end of the first book, right at the end of the girlfriend section. And then when we get into the second binder with the work section, we then again see the same music notes, the same song again for the work version. So it's like they can't take that away from me, women, and they can't take that away from me, my work. Let's see if there's anything different here. The inclusion of this specific song is deeply sentimental and deliberate gesture, perfectly aligned with the scrapbook's overall purpose in collecting the immortalization of memories. It is not a joke or a piece of childhood memorabilia, but a sophisticated and romantic statement. The song choice frames the relationship between the contributor, almost certainly the book's curator, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein as an epic, timeless love affair filled with iconic personal moments. I don't know. This song, now being in two different versions of the book, being interpreted twice now as just some letter from Ghislaine Maxwell, I don't believe that. I think that's horseshit. I think that's, if I'm being honest, guys, I think that's horseshit, and I think that there might be a little bit more to this one. I mean, is there a lyrics version of the song that we can listen to? They can't take that away from me. They can't take that away from me. We did listen to the lyrical version. There's a Louis Armstrong version a year ago. No thanks. Frank Sinatra remastered 1998. They can't take that away from me. I mean, that's probably most likely what he's listening to. Like, if we're looking at sheet music, sheet music doesn't mean that that's the actual, like, that's what we're doing here. You know what I mean? It might just be like a song, and then you use the sheet music. You use the sheet music to. Oh wait, let me pull that back up a little bit.
There are many, many crazy things that will keep me loving you.
All right.
And with your permission, may I list a few?
Oh, okay.
The way you wear your hat. The way
Now
you
here's
sip your tea.
The way that I'm seeing these lyrics and the romance of it. This might be Ghislaine Maxwell this might be a song that Ghislaine Maxwell loves.
Smile just beams. The way you sing off key.
Yeah, I think,
the way you haunt my
honestly, I don't know that this is a song that Epstein himself was obsessed with. It might be more so a Ghislaine Maxwell love song.
that bumpy road to love. Still I'll always,
It's a straight up love song.
always keep the memory of.
But it's interesting to have it in the work section as well, in the second book.
The way we danced until 3.
Uh-huh.
The way you've changed my life. No, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that.
It feels like, I mean, it could be both of them. It could be her. It could be him. I don't know. It's weird. You got to say that it's at least him in some capacity, because otherwise, why would there be a love for it in this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would there be a love for this song for a second time in the book? I feel like if it was at the end of the girlfriend section alone, that makes sense, because that's the end of the curation of the book. Thank you so much. But putting it at the top of the second book as well, which the first page was about work, that's fucking crazy. That's where it starts to get all mushy-mashy on me. All right, here we go. So, was the 1998 version re-released and remastered from the 1970s and 80s of Frank Sinatra singing that song, which is what we just listened to. So let's take a look at page 88. All right. Page 88, guys, of the Epstein book. Page 88 of the Epstein book. And if you're on YouTube, you're about to just get an ad if you're not on premium, because I'm sorry, sometimes you get an ad. That's how I live. I throw an ad at you, and then I live. If you're on Rumble, you're probably a Rumble Premium user, and fuck you, because I'm paying for Rumble Premium, and they just rejected me for partnership. I can only assume that I'm being rejected for partnership for my pre-show, which I have cut off now since then. They said I could apply again on October 7th. Rumble saying I can apply for something on October 7th sounds a little fishy. Does it not? Aw, did I really do that? I dropped all my users from the fucking ad? Come on, guys. You can't just stick through an ad. You can't have fun with an ad. All right. Here we are. Page 88 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook draws a direct parallel between him and the composer Ludwig van Beethoven. The two black and white photos show a young Jeffrey Epstein posing seriously at a piano, presenting him in a role of a classical musician. The page features the title page of the first edition of Beethoven's Pathetique Sonata. A lengthy printed text provides a historical analysis of the Pathetique Sonata. It describes the piece as a groundbreaking work that heralded the dawn of the new century for music. The text block ends with a powerful symbolic statement. The years of apprenticeship were over. Beethoven had finally arrived. This is the most grandiose and intellectually ambiguous page in the entire scrapbook. The creator of this page, almost certainly Ghislaine Maxwell, is making a direct and unambiguous comparison. Jeffrey Epstein is a modern Beethoven. Again, like, this is what's interesting, is that there are time and time again people talking about him being a musical prodigy, almost like way more than a math guy. The math guy thing kind of comes from like, and then he math, and then he made money. It's all real vague. The one true core is that they keep acting like he's this, and the reason I say they're acting like he's this thing is because, like, they're not really showing proof. There's no videos of Jeffrey Epstein, like, shooting off a saxophone for years. Apparently, he fucking was at, like, one of the most historical, what was that? One of the most historical, like, it wasn't the Lincoln Center, but it was somewhere else. It wasn't Juilliard, but it was one of those big, huge New York places that he performed. I think what was it, an accordion? I don't fucking know, man. But it's crazy. They're a musical artist again. And again, nothing about him being musical when we're looking at all this other shit. And I say that because it's like, if he's fucking Prince, where's the tracks? Where's the songs? And if he's not Prince, what is this? What are we playing here? We got to also remember that this entire time that this book is being curated for him. This book is being curated to give him a fluff up piece for himself. This is a birthday book. This is not intended for public consumption. So this was a fluff up of him. He's a fucking musical genius. Just as the sonata marked Beethoven's arrival as a major revolutionary force in music, Epstein's first 50 years represents the end of his apprenticeship. He has now, at age 50, finally arrived as a fully formed genius who will change the world, presumably of finance or science. The page elevates Epstein beyond a mere wealthy man into a figure of historic and world-changing importance. Yeah. This page is a stunning page of propaganda that reveals the scale and intellectual vanity of the myth being constructed around Jeffrey Epstein. This document represents the apex of the Epstein as a genius narrative. The comparison to Beethoven is an attempt to create a cult of personality around him, portraying him as a figure so brilliant and exceptional that he is beyond the understanding and the rules of the ordinary world. Creating a persona of a, quote, historical genius is a classic tactic used to justify and excuse transgressive, immoral, and criminal behavior. The scrapbook argues that beyond Epstein is a Beethoven-level talent, he should not be judged by conventional standards. This page showcases the sophistication of the propaganda curated by Ghislaine Maxwell. She is not merely collecting fond memories. She is an active and intellectual architect of his mythos, weaponizing high culture to construct a facade of greatness. The comparison is grandiosely offensive. To liken a serial sexual predator and trafficker to one of the most revered artists in human history is a profound act of moral and intellectual dishonesty. The, quote, arrival being celebrated on this page was not the dawn of a new era of human achievement, but the full flowering of a global sex trafficking enterprise built on the mysterious fortune and enabled by a carefully crafted myth of a untouchable genius. Okay, look, it's starting to build this deep painting that Ghislaine Maxwell is orchestrating this fake narrative story of him being a genius in order to portray him for whatever he's doing. I have a hard time believing this because I listened to the 6 hours of Maxwell and she's a fucking idiot, or she sounds like one. Or am I supposed to be deceived in thought that she is actually like smarter than me and going to like manipulate me into doing this? I don't know. It's just, if you were making a birthday book for a friend of yours that was also paying you to leverage and buy real estate, etc., all these places, all this stuff, and you grew up in a rich family, but you feel importance from like the fact that you're doing this work for somebody, I can see a woman just getting caught up in it. I can also see the other side of it, where this is like an orchestrated Mossad detail to like build the personification that this Jewish American folklore of this man is that he is this musical genius, this prodigy, this thing that cannot be stopped. So that if this ever comes to light, if these things ever come the way that they come, we're building the personification of him. This is how he gets his money. This is how he gets his people. This is how he gets everything, is by being like, I'm a brilliant genius. However, we have to reel it back in and realize this was not supposed to be public. And if this is just a girl making a book for her boyfriend, she's going to say these things, the nicest niceties possible. So the orchestration, the manipulation, the CIA underground style fucking spy tactic, I don't believe it. I believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is a gullible fucking idiot that wanted to suck his dick. That's what I think. And I think she's getting fucked now. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet, guys. We're not done yet. Next page. Page 89. Again, they can't take that away from me. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Is this going to happen? Two more times. We're going to see the same exact page two more times, interlaced with other things. So it's like, was he playing this song? Is this his favorite song? So we saw this at the end. So they had a spayed and neutered stamp that was part of a collection of stamps as a joke. And then the, warranty of the binding, the luxury of the binding. At the end of the first binding of the first book, page 83. But at the end of that book, they can't take that away from me. When we get to the second book, we show him doing a bunch of work, and then again, they can't take that away from me. We then show this comparison to him to the next Beethoven. He's ready. He's no longer the apprentice. And then again, they can't take that away from me. Why? If it's a binded book for him, why? What's the meaning of keeping these lyrics up over and over and over again? They can't take that away from me. Remember, people, that's the song of the summer, the song of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. They can't take that away from me. And now that it's being played for a third time on our fucking book here, I got to do it again. See if we can find a better version. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask the chatbot. They can't take that away from me. What was the most... I'm going to shut this off real quick so I can type this real quick. What was the most popular version of this song during the era of Maxwell Epstein that they most likely played and listened to, as this song was their theme song? Clearly. All right, let's see what Mr. Chatbot says about that. Because they can't take that away from me has now been inserted into this thing 3 times. And I want to know what version Mr. Epstein and Mrs. Maxwell were listening to. Give it to me. Given that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's relationship began in the early 1990s and they remain closely associated for over 2 decades, the most popular and era-appropriate version of They Can't Take That Away From Me likely listened to would be the classic, iconic recordings of the mid-20th century. The 2 most prominent and endearing versions of the song from that time are the Frank Sinatra and the Louis Armstrong. So, we definitely already listened to the Frank Sinatra. We're going to listen to Louis Armstrong rendition of this. It is a little bit longer. Probably going to get fucking tagged on this one because it seems like Mr. Louis Armstrong and his descendants are more likely to tag me than Mr. Frank Sinatra. That's my feeling. That's how I feel about it. But we're still going to listen to the other version, the black version that they might have been listening to. The black version. Okay. The fact that the two most iconic versions of this song were these. The most iconic versions were this is so popular. Oh God, now I know the song. It's definitely this one. And it's her. She's singing it. Notice how it's not him anymore? What the F of the interpretation, guys? Ella Fitzgerald singing this song proves that kind of like the Epstein. Frank Sinatra sings this song to a woman, then Ella Fitzgerald sings this to a man. Both of these versions, Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein both could interpret this to each other. Though I will say this version of the song I've heard in movies, referenced over and over and over again. The duality of it, the fact that you're going to hear Ella Fitzgerald and then you're going to hear Louis Armstrong, and that they're talking to each other, it gives off this element that the song itself was a Epstein-Maxwell pairing.
The way you sip your tea.
They love each other.
The memory of all that.
This is crazy. You can't take that away from me. Yep,
The way your smile just beams.
What do you guys think? It's crazy. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were singing this fucking song to each other. Can South Park do this? Have them sing it. This is a wild one.
We may never
Forever beat again. I do have to talk over it, guys. You guys can listen to the song yourself, but like if I don't talk over it enough, Mrs. YouTube will ban me. I'm sure I already am hearing some commentary stuff on it, but wow. We've all heard this version. We've all heard this version of the song. It's this. It's this version. It's not the Frank Sinatra, and it's not the original. Sometimes with a classic song, you don't know what people are referencing, but this is it. And they sing it to each other. It's a duality. Being back and forth, though. Like, that song has been placed on these pages 3 times now. They can't take that away from me. And they're like, apparently not dating. Apparently she was just a person fucking just doing some secretary work. Come on, man. Come on, man. What do you want us to believe? Next page. Page 90. Not in the cloud, not a cloud in the sky. Oh, okay. So it looks like these might be references to They Can't Take That Away From Me. Because I believe that a cloud in the sky is actually a lyric from that song. But we will see. Because now we are on page 90 and our chat bot is cranking it up. We doing it. We ready. Page 90, everybody. How's everybody feeling? We got through 9 pages so far. That's pretty legit. That's pretty legit. All right. Let's see here. Page 90 is a visually dense theme collage page from Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book. The page evokes a sunny, luxurious, carefree, quote, endless vacation lifestyle strongly suggestive of Palm Beach, Florida. The collage is built on a background of bright blue water and a large flock of pink flamingos. A large cloud-like bubble contains the thematic phrase, "Not a cloud in the sky." Several candid photos of muscular young men, presumably Epstein or a close friend, posing in a swimsuit trunks in a sunny resort-like setting. Vintage photos of a young man with a car seemingly in the same tropical location. A scenic postcard-like image of a street line with palm trees at dusk. Two small images at the top appear to be album covers. One is clearly identifiable as Centra Bias or Sinertra Basi, SINATRABASIE, referring to the classic collaboration between Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. Oh, what's the Frank Sinatra one? The Louis Armstrong one's more popular, guys. But now we found out it is truly the Frank Sinatra track. At least two photographs have figures of faces obscured by black redacted boxes. This page is a powerful and deliberate celebration of very specific persona and lifestyle. The theme, quote, "Not a cloud in the sky," is a declaration of a life of perfect, uncontrollable leisure and immense wealth. The aesthetic, with its flamingos and Sinatra soundtrack, is meant to evoke a glamorous retro Rat Pack era of masculine confidence and cool. The page is a ode to a life lived as a permanent vacationer in a tropical paradise. Okay. N91 is the song again, guys. It's the song again. And now we got a one last time. Maybe, I don't think we did the duet when we did the Frank Sinatra version of the song. But that seems to be what they are referring to, which is what I was thinking. Is there a Frank Sinatra with? I need a Frank Sinatra with. Frank Sinatra. Who did it say it was with? Who did they say that they... I think they said that it was with... Frank Sinatra and Count Basie. Count. I think it's this one. This one's 3 minutes long.
Imagine being able to build an app with your...
Boo! Fucking ads. Boo! Boo ads. All right, I think this is the one, guys. This is it.
The way you wear your hat,
Okay.
the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that.
I mean, it is the best version.
No, they can't take that away
Woo!
from me.
Why is it not New York, New York? Oh, it is. It's a chorus. Okay. Is this the one that South Park did with Santa and Jesus when they did the duet on Christmas? Is that what this is?
We may never,
Ever.
meet
Ever.
again on that bumpy road to love.
This page is the most courageous, iconic, damning document in the scrapbook. Oh, I realize while I'm doing this, it's probably echoing.
Your night.
It's probably echoing, ain't it?
The way you changed my life.
But if I turn it down, then it turns it down for you. I don't know, guys. I tried.
That away
from me. Epstein, fucking Frank Sinatra. I'm Ghislaine Maxwell and I just want to buy a 15-year-old and sell it to you. I'm a Mr. Epstein and I just like my back rubs. Back rubs, back rubs, back rubs.
We may never.
Okay. Enough of the creepy ass fucking duet. These people are fucking pedophiles. 92. Getting rid of the pedophiles. Moving on. 92. What you got here? What you got here for me, chatbot? Tell me what the fuck's going on. Got some redactions already. I'm looking at some redacts. Some solid redacts. But yeah. Again, guys, remember to drop a comment if you guys want to have a chat. Tell me what you think of the fucking Epstein book so far. We are now currently on page 92. Page 92. We're in book 2. I didn't even know there were multiple books, but I knew there were multiple books. I would have just done the books. I would have done a book per episode. But my whole 5.5 hour episode was just 80 pages instead of 84. Almost book 1. Here we go. Book 2. 92. Page 92 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook is a collage page with the theme A Few Friends and Family. The phrase A Few Friends and Family stenciled at both the top and bottom of the yellow page. The page is a sprawling collage of over a dozen candid photographs of various eras and settings. The images depict social gatherings, including dinner parties, outdoor resort scenes, and more intimate personal moments. The variety suggests a rich and active social life. The most striking features of the page is the extensive use of black redaction boxes in nearly every single photograph. Multiple faces and figures have been completely obscured, making it impossible to identify the vast majority of the people depicted. Here's the thing, like, this is what I'm noticing while I'm, I haven't learned much about Epstein, but I've learned a hell of a lot about the fucking oversight committee. How in the fuck are they letting Trump be exposed in this book, but then they're redacting literally every other motherfucker under the sun? Either everyone that's in this book should be exposed or they're not. The fact that some childhood friends are exposed while others are being redacted in these photos, it's crazy. It's crazy that some people that aren't public figures are not redacted and they did not suffer criminal consequences. Remember, if we're going by that standard, then Ghislaine Maxwell should be the only one that isn't redacted, because she's the only criminal. She's the only criminal here, and so she's the only one that shouldn't be redacted. Everybody else should be redacted, unless we're just not going to redact people, which is what I thought we were doing, because there's definitely the Trump page. There's definitely childhood friends that I've seen. There's definitely girlfriends that have not been redacted. It's not like they gave their permission for this to happen. So it's very fucking strange to me that we're over here like redacting certain photos in party and not others. Weird. The statement's purpose of this, the stated purpose of this page, as announced by its title, is to celebrate Epstein's close personal relationships with, quote, friends and family. It is intended to portray him as a sociable man at the center of a lively and local community. However, the heavy redactions completely subvert its intention. Instead, of a heartwarming display of personal connections, the page becomes a stark and chilling visual representation of the hidden world. The viewer is confronted not with the faces of the loved ones, but with the gallery of blacked out voids. Yeah, exactly. That's the fucking thing. It's very, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't like that there's so much redaction. 93. Okay, we got Can't Take That Away From Me again, and this time in gold. So it looks like each one of these submissions that we're seeing here, guys, is different. And then we got the Can't Take That Away From Me again. So book 2, you got Epstein's at work. He's just doing a little collage. Somebody did a little collage of photos of him. Redacted all the fucking faces. They can't take that away from me. Then we go Epstein versus Beethoven. Epstein is the new Beethoven. Here's fucking Frank Sinatra right here on the album cover. Epstein's the new Beethoven. Then they can't take that away from me again. Not a cloud in the sky, a bunch of flamingos. Fucking, it's Florida, wearing a bikini. He's fucking, here he is. They can't take that away from me again. Now on golden back, a few friends and family. You see the dog, friends and family. Friends and family are pretty much redacted, except for him. And then on gold again, they can't take that away from me. It is a very prominent song that is happening here, people. And this time I'm going to let you guys, and you know what? They can fuck off on YouTube, but I'm going to let you guys listen to the full unredacted version of this song while I go and take a bathroom break. Because this song, the Frank Sinatra version of this song, is exactly... Now this, I'm going to go back to the original, which is just him. Just Frank Sinatra. This is the one that we saw on the pages of the Epstein book. But again, remember that this is a duet song in which every time that this duet has ever been performed, it's a man and a woman building the Ghislaine versus Jeffrey singing this element. But again, this is book 2. Yes, she's putting the book together, but now that we see that these gold pages are what look to be a different person's submission, and then again, gold pages, they can't take that away from me. It might mean that he just fucking really loves this song, which this song could mean a lot more for him. So let's take a look at this 2-minute track, and then I will be back with you guys, and we will take a look at some more pages.
What's new with Google Ads? Google AI powers campaigns that work for you.
There are many, many crazy things that will keep me loving you. And with your permission, may I list a few? The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, no, they can't take that away from me. The way your smile just beams, the way you sing off key, the way you haunt my dreams.
It's wild. This is wild. It's wild how much this song clearly represents Epstein.
Never meet again on that bumpy road to love. Still I'll always keep the memory of the way you made me, the way we danced until 3, the way you've changed my life.
Changed my life.
No, no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't
Take that away from me. They fucking took it away from him. They took it away from him. they got rid of him. Yeah, see you later. All right. Mr. Pedophile. Next page. Here we are. Page 54. Now I can't get that song out of my head. What a fucking fun little time we had there with that one, huh? What a weird one. Oh, shoot. I missed that. I missed my thumbnail moment for page 94 of the Epstein book. Let's see what we got. How you guys feeling tonight? You guys doing good? 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 Throw that chat in there. How you feel about the Epstein book so far? Like, we still haven't reached back into what was the biggest discovery of book one, which is like there is a second British woman that people in his high school felt like changed him. And then that person was redacted. And that person also was commented on by Ghislaine Maxwell in the interview and again redacted. All right. Let's see here. Page 94 is a collage page of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook dedicated to the theme of, quote, play. The page is labeled the words play, quote, more play, and, quote, more play in a decorative font, explicitly framing the context of celebration of leisure and recreation. The page is a chaotic, overlapping collage of more than a dozen color photographs depicting various scenes from Epstein's life. The photographs show Jeffrey Epstein in various states of relaxation and enjoyment, smiling at a desk, posing with the luxury cars, including a Rolls Royce, relaxing in modern homes, and pictured in tropical or resort-like settings. Similar to the Friends and Family page, this collage is heavily redacted. Numerous boxes cover the faces of bodies and other individuals pictured with Epstein, rendering his companions anonymous. The page is a direct and celebratory ode to Jeffrey Epstein's life of extreme wealth, luxury, and pleasure. It acts as a companion piece to the, quote, work collage, together building a narrative of a man who, quote, works hard and plays hard. Work hard, play hard. The entire page is designed to project a image of glamorous, exciting, and inevitable life filled with fun and free from responsibility. I mean, is it doing all that? Is it doing all that? This photo of him in the bathtub. Can we not? Can we not with that one? Redaction, his penis. You guys notice that? Redaction was his penis. Redaction, penis. Penis in your birthday book. The fuck? And then we're going to do another. Can't take that away from me, right? I fucking knew it. Another can't take that away from me. Just for fucking shits and gigs. And here we are now. Oh, can't take that away from me, but it's thrown together with some other fucking shit. What can't they take away from him? This looks like finally some deeper information into why they can't take that away from him. What exactly he means by they can't take that away from him. What is that? What is they? Well, there's a lot of redactions here, but this is the same lyrics page plastered over the book again, like we've seen before. But this plastered version of the page, it seems to have a lot of redactions and other collage elements in it. So let's see if AI can interpret some kind of understanding as to why this is happening. But man, is this fucking mysterious as fuck. That like we're like, this is crazy. It gets wilder here with the This is why you can believe pretty much any conspiracy theory about Epstein. It's that everything about his life, down to the hard book covered binded birthday book, is just fucking insane. Page 96 of the heavily redacted collage page of Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday scrapbook. This page is a chaotic collage of various documents and photographs, but most of its surface area is obscured by a massive black redacted box. The most visible elements are multiple pieces of the sheet music for the song They Can't Take That Away From Me. The song has appeared twice before, establishing it as the scrapbook's center theme. Small fragments of what appear to be album covers, including one of Sinatra Bessie, are also visible. The vast majority of the page including what are clearly large photographs, have been completely blacked out. The page appears to be a phonic summary of the scrapbook's central romanticized theme. The repeated use of "They Can't Take That Away From Me" is a final, defiant statement framing the life and relationship being celebrated as a collection of precious, unsustainable memories. However, the overwhelming redactions completely subvert the overwhelm this intended message. The page is no longer a celebration, but a stark portrait of concealment. The black void dominate the composition, turning it from a piece of nostalgia into an artifact of a cover-up. Look, here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you on this one. I really wish they didn't redact this one. Because I don't think that we're going to ever really know the answer to this. But those redactions in that page of this one, They Can't Take That Away From Me. Those image redactions, whatever they are, that is the most profound and clear evidence of whatever Epstein is after. They can't take that away from me, and these are the things they can't take away from me, and all of them are redacted. Come on, Cash Patel. I need something here. Page 97. Here we go. No more Can't Take That Away From Me for the rest of the fucking time, I guess. Page 97. Well, what do we think of They Can't Take That Away From Me? Anybody have any ideas about what those photos, those blacked out photos, and they can't take that away from me? Anything? Any thoughts? Any thoughts on what They Can't Take That Away From Me and all the blacked out, redacted people are? It's a wild world. Wild world. Where are we at? Hour and 53. Hour and a half in. Thoughts. 96. It's a heavily redacted collage page from Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book. Wait, that's not right. That can't be right. No. Because this one's just fucking photos of men thongs. Here we go. Page 97 is a page, Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday scrapbook, featuring 2 color photographs of his young adulthood. Shows a young Jeffrey Epstein dressed casually in jeans and a white shirt, standing next to a black Rolls Royce with its hood open. The setting is a rustic and outdoors, a quote beefcake style shot of a tanned and muscular Epstein posing shirtless in a small Speedo style swimsuit on a poolside patio or verdada. Again, like, if this guy, that's the thing too. I understand Weinstein. I also understand Louis C.K. I also understand Aziz Ansari. I don't get this one that much. What were you so grossed out about? The man's pretty hot, to be honest. It's nearly repulsive for me to say that. I feel gross and like saying it because I feel like I'm defending him, but I don't know. The only thing I can think of, and it's the portrayal that they've built, which is like the pedophile thing, which we haven't seen much of. We've seen young lady, heartthrob, I want to own women kind of vibe, but we haven't really seen like children or like I want to own children or like possess children in some capacity. And that makes me think that like they needed that because he's so hot. He's so well built, well done. What was the thing? I think everybody wants Epstein to be a pedophile with a bunch of cameras that is extorting the U.S. government and Clinton in the 90s for Israel so badly. The dots connect so badly for some people that we can't understand that, like, there are so many holes in that story. For one, the reference to the cameras being in Epstein's apartment are in reference to the New York apartment in which there were security cameras that were permanently built in there. And Virginia, I can't remember her last name now, but the number one victim, she did finally kill herself. I don't mean finally, she did. They all kill themselves. She kept building this, like, I just don't believe her. I don't believe her when she says this whole thing where there's an interview with Virginia where she's talking about these cameras, and this is where most of the camera, like, extortion stuff comes from, is that she says there was a camera in every room, in every bedroom, in every bathroom, and she looks at the interviewer that she's talking to, and she just goes, and I knew right then, I mean, I wasn't going to stay there. Which implies, like, choice in so many other things. Were you being sex trafficked through an island and forced to do these things? Or were you being, like, showboated through a billionaire's mansion and saw some cameras and decided to take advantage? And by take advantage, I mean, like, imply that this is what he was after. Because there's no other proof other than her interview where she says that. That's where we build this. That in a New York Post or New York Times article where there was a camera that was seen in the bedroom in Discovery. The justification by Ghislaine Maxwell and others is that that camera was pointed directly at a safe in that bedroom. Every other camera that we've seen proof of is not in a bathroom or a bedroom. It's in a standard area of a house. And these are mansions. Obviously, they have fucking security. So that's the one thing I'm very skeptical of. I'm very skeptical of Virginia Dufree and her fucking bullshit. Also, the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell in her interview was sitting there saying, like, Jeffrey was telling me not to say that she was a liar, not to call her out, not to provoke this. And it, to me, again, screams like a person that's after money, after something. Is there really a crime here? And even if there is a crime here, there is a deeper question of, like, is the assaultant, the person that is the crime is being committed against, are they in on the crime? And nobody wants to talk about that. Is Virginia, are these victims in on the crime? Do we know that they were being forced to do this under the ruse, under the leverage of their heads of state. That's it. I don't know. Since 1998, we've kind of known if you fuck somebody famous, you can brag about it. We've kind of known that. There was a kind of like a whole Kobe thing where he had to like have women sign things to make sure that he wasn't fucking raping somebody. All kinds of crazy shit. So it's a far-fetched belief for me. That one. It's a far-fetched belief for me, that one. All right. Let's get into it. Let's see here what we got. Page 97, page 98. Oh, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein with a fucking serial killer or somebody redacted. And again, this is where like it's getting weird with the redactions, people, because again, like we're not redacting Donald Trump. We're not redacting Alan Dershowitz. We're not redacting people that just happen to see Mr. Epstein. So then the claim has to be that every single person that's redacted in here is a victim of a crime, that they were being played. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to get behind. Page 98. Page 98 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook features a photograph and a handwritten caption. A black and white photograph shows Jeffrey Epstein in a suit and tie. He is standing next to another person who is almost entirely obscured by a large black redaction box. Only a black, elaborate dress is visible. A quote, okay, well, black elaborate dress, that kind of signals as a female. That might be especially in the 80s, 90s. So this might have been a female, and then he is a boyfriend of redaction. We think he works for the CIA. That's okay. He is standing next to another person who is almost entirely obscured by the large black redaction box. Only a dark, elaborate dress is visible. A quote is written at the bottom of the page. Part of the first line is redacted. The visible text reads, "He is the boyfriend of redacted." He is the boyfriend of redacted. Is that how it reads? He is the boyfriend of redacted. We think he works for the CIA. Guys, this is fucking A. This is the one. This is the fucking one, man. This is the proof. This is the proof of the crimes. He is the boyfriend of redacted. Again, this is what we were getting at before. If that is Ghislaine Maxwell in that photo, if that is Ghislaine Maxwell's name written on that fucking photo, then it would not be redacted. This is the woman. This is the British woman that they were talking about. He is the boyfriend of redacted. He is the boyfriend of redacted. Who the fuck is redacted? And how do you know? I don't know. And why did you keep her fucking under? How is Ghislaine Maxwell at fault for Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, but this individual on this page of a birthday book in which he claims to be the boyfriend of this individual and also a CIA asset, not part of the crime? How is Ghislaine Maxwell part of the crime, but this woman, this person, this redacted, not part of the crime? That's fucking huge. That's huge. This is clearly the British lady that everyone in the high school documents in part 1 was talking about. It is not Ghislaine Maxwell that is the creator of this whole fucking thing. It is redacted. It is this lady in this photo that is clearly not Ghislaine Maxwell, because it would not be redacted if it was. But if it is this person who is to blame for Jeffrey Epstein, for CIA, for the operation, for the whole fucking thing, how in the fuck are we going to live here in America with a redaction on this woman? What if it's Oprah? What if it's Diane, the princess? Princess Diana. This could literally be anyone at this point, 98 pages in. And the one thing it's not, the one thing we know it's not, is Ghislaine Maxwell, which is the person who is in prison for these crimes. That's the most interesting page so far tonight for me, guys. How in the fuck is that happening? How? All right, page 99. More redactions, though. Again, and the redactions of who took this picture? Who took this picture? Redactions of who took this picture? It gets clearer and clearer every time that the person that is to blame for the Epstein crimes, more than Epstein even himself, is someone that is so deeply ingrained in the U.S. government that we cannot blame them. We redact them out of merit. We claim them as a victim to Mr. Epstein. The girlfriend of Mr. Epstein is not a victim. The girlfriend of Mr. Epstein is most likely cooperating in this crime. Ugh. Getting some fucking juicy juice on me. All right, here we go. Page 99 is a collage page of Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday scrapbook featuring 3 intimate, candid photographs and handwritten commentary. Top photo, a man, presumably Jeffrey Epstein, relaxing on a sofa in a wooden paneled room. Middle photo, a man, presumably Epstein, laughing in bed. Part of his head is redacted. Part of his head is redacted. Part of his head's redacted. The fuck is going on here? Wait, that's just his head? Why is that redacted? Wait, hold on, guys. What the fuck is that? That is a weird redaction. That right here, this part might be a face. The black. But the gray? What is that? A close-up intimate photo of a smiling tan Jeffrey Epstein lying in bed. A large black box redacts what is clearly another person lying next to him. The date, 91/8/31, August 31st, 1991, is visible on the photograph. Alberto Pinto had a huge input here. These are considered his floor days. Who took this picture? This page juxtaposed Epstein's luxurious lifestyle with his private, intimate life, with commentary provided by his book's curator, Ghislaine Maxwell. Alberto Pinto. The reference to Alberto Pinto, a world-famous high-end interior designer, is a boost about the extreme wealth and bespoke luxury of Epstein's homes, even in their apparently casual floor days. The question, who took this photo? Next to the intimate bed photo of 1991 is a rhetorical and winking admission from the curator herself. It is a powerful, thoughtful, playful declaration that she was the photographer and therefore the person in bed with Epstein on that date. Is it? I mean, that's good AI interpretation, but is it? Is that where we're at? Is that what's going on here? Let me pull back out. I'm gonna look at this. Pull back out. Alberto Pinto had a huge input here. These are considered his floor days. Who took this picture? Again, like, was it me or you? And again, the implied thought that it is Ghislaine Maxwell implies that, like, it was her. But, like, that's not her because it's redacted. And we know that. We know that from other references in the book in which Ghislaine is not redacted. So it is very crazy interesting to see these other women. Yeah. Who is this lady? She is clearly a part of the problem. That's what I would say. Clearly part of the problem is the lady that is continually redacted in this scenario. Page 100. And this is what I mean, like, by non-redacted materials, which is like, why is the person in the photos with him here not being redacted? Why are we assuming that they are a criminal? That's what I would assume. Like, if you're not going to redact the person, you're assuming they're a criminal, right? That's the problem. It's like, how can you do that? How can you assume that these people are criminals and then other ones need to be redacted? Quite crazy. To be honest, quite crazy. Yeah. All right, here we go. Page 90, page 100. Page 100 is a collage page of Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book, focusing on humorous stage scenes with his father. Okay. All right, I guess that makes sense why he's not redacted it. The page contains 4 candid photos with handwritten joke captions seamlessly meant to represent a conversation. Top photo. A young man, presumably Jeffrey Epstein, is seen walking with his father, Seymour Epstein. Caption. Just give me the $100. I will not tell Paula. Pauline, was Seymour's wife and Jeffrey's mother. Middle photo. Seymour Epstein leans into a convertible car where an individual in the driver's seat is redacted. Suppose she doesn't know where the brakes are. Is the caption. Bottom photo. Seymour Epstein wearing a captain's hat poses with 2 individuals whose faces are redacted. This page is designed to portray a playful, conspiratorial boys' club relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and his father. The caption creates a fictional and humorous narrative. The first joke implies a secret pact between father and son against the mother and wife. The second joke is a piece of dark humor direct at the redacted and presumably female driver of the car. I mean, these seem to be normal male-on-male jokes. Just give me the 100. I will not tell Paul. Yeah, exactly. So it's his dad saying, "Hey, just give me the money and I won't tell mom." I mean, that's cute. Suppose if she doesn't know where the brakes are, like, oh no, what about this lady? Where does she know what a lady? But again, the lady, who the fuck is this lady? I think it's the same lady every time. Who's this lady? That's the thing we need to really, 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 really find out. Which, how many pages are left of this motherfucker? 238. Okay, that's business. 218 is that. Girlfriend's in 195. What's this? 163. I'm trying to figure out where we end, guys. Oh, I think we end on page 114. Or the children. We end on the children. Yeah, the children. We end on the children. So, page 100, page 101. Page 101, y'all. Doesn't look like there are any redactions on this photo page. Let's see what they got to tell us. Oh. Messed that one up. Let me do that one more time. Let's see what they got to tell us. Tell us what they got to tell us. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure that you can drop a chat in the chat below. And I read all chats out loud. Let's discuss Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. And if you're with us on YouTube for a second time tonight, we're going to drop that ad right now. Boom. Sorry. I'll see you guys in a minute. And if you drop off, go fuck yourself. This is the Epstein fucking book. Shit. Stuff. And stuff. We got about 10 pages left. All right. Let's see here. Page 101 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book scrapbook features the 3 photographs of a trip with handwritten joke captions. Top photo and caption. A photo taken inside what appears to be an Asian market or like an acupuncture fucking whatever, fucking Asian acupuncture, whatever thing. A man, likely Epstein, is speaking with a vendor. The caption is a crude joke. Are you sure this will make my, quote, where grow? Oh, okay, so it's a joke on him growing his penis from acupuncture therapy. A photo of a man. Second photo is a photo of a man standing on a business street in a Asian city with Chinese characters on the signs. The caption reads, "Oh my, never seen those pants before." Okay. A photo of an empty, and this is the third photo, a photo of an empty and dimly lit room that appears to be a bathroom or a private room at a spa. The caption reads, "Waiting for my foot massage." This page documents one of Jeffrey Epstein's trips to Asia, a key part of international lifestyle celebrated throughout the scrapbook. The tone is juvenile and humorous, focusing on crude jokes and travel experiences. The first caption is a sexual innuendo about penis enlargement products, while the third caption references receiving a personal service, a, quote, massage. Okay, so that is the first time we have heard about an actual massage on the Epstein book. Only took him 100 pages. Woo! Woo! Go Epstein! You did it! It took you 100 pages before you talked about fucking massages. But as far as the rest of these Asian jokes go, I've said them before. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Honestly, I've definitely done very close to the same types of jokes before myself. So I don't think it's something to take super offense to. We got a chat right now. Dr. Fruit Snack says, Trump and Epstein's relationship was close. Well, that's why it's on the thumbnail. We are still leading up to that. But the thing that we have been talking about tonight is the fact that there are multiple redacted male figures and also a prominent female figure in Epstein's life that was redacted that is not Trump. And if Trump is not to be redacted and implied that he is part of the crimes in some capacity, why are these other human beings not being redacted? I think that Trump shouldn't be redacted. I think we should understand what Trump said. At some point, we will finally get to that little fucking page that he said. But if Trump isn't redacted, you gotta start to think like, are the people that are redacted being protected for a reason, for a political reason? Are these people part of the cover-up? If Trump isn't redacted, but others are redacted, what are we trying to say in the narrative of the story of Epstein? That these people are protected, but that Trump isn't? Trump just wrote a letter to him, apparently. Dr. Fruit Snack says, some may be victims. I'm unsure. That's the thing, is that like, but again, male victims? Male victims? We know Epstein was straight. We know he was into young girls. And without getting gratuitous about it, young girls probably not of legal age. That is the portrayal of Epstein. So if that's the case, his girlfriend from ages 19 to 23, why is that lady redacted? She is being told by multiple people in his high school and in his college life that this woman, this British woman that is not Ghislaine Maxwell, changed his life forever, switched him, made him different, made him rich, elegant, and ready to go. That was not Ghislaine. Ghislaine is not redacted in these things. That is a different woman. But also, any man redacted. Why would we redact a man in a crime about pedophilia of underage women? Dr. Fruit Snack says, like with pictures with victims blacked out that are girls, that then I respect that because those are victims. Absolutely. Yeah. There are certain photos that we've already went through in this book that clearly are of women under the age of 18. And if that is the case, redact the shit out of them. But if you're a prominent figure of the Epstein story, how do you get away with this? Also, if you're a male figure and a male prominent figure of the Epstein story and you somehow escape, Alan Dershowitz and Donald Trump get exposed, but somehow you get redacted. We have not yet gone through the entire book yet, but it will be funny when we read Donald Trump's quote in the book and somehow, miraculously, there is no Clinton entry. I will just say that. There is no Clinton entry, but there will definitely be a Donald Trump entry. And there are multiple redacted male figures that are older than Epstein inside of this book. With that said, let's get to page 102. Oh, we finally getting on the plane, people. And again, another redacted figure. So again, remember, anytime we see those redactions, they are not Ghislaine Maxwell, especially for the females. The females are not Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is not redacted in this document. We are on page 101. I know. We got a few pages left tonight for you guys. Probably about, I think, 4 or 5. And then we're going to put it to rest again until the next time that we jump into the Epstein book. I want to make sure that I give enough detail to every single page and then a complete overview of how I felt looking into all this. Page 101 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook features 3 photographs from a trip with handwritten joke captions. Oh, wait. No, that one's... Sorry, guys. That was the last page. Page 102 is the page of the Jeffrey Epstein's 50th scrapbook celebrating the rapid expansion of his fleet of private aircraft. A picture of the Hawker private jet on the airport tarmac, the tail number N908JE, is clearly visible. The photo is a date stamped 91/8/29, August 29th, 1991. A picture taken inside a private jet shows a young Jeffrey Epstein seated next to another person whose face and upper body are obscured by a large black redacted box. A note connects the photos. It all happened so quickly, from Hawker to 727. So 727 is, again, that big, large jet that only Mr. Jeffrey Epstein owned. Only one of 5 private owners ever of a 727. But it quickly happened from a Hawker to a 727. It seems that then implies that this is the Hawker. And again, we are August 29th, 1991 in a Hawker. And the woman with him is redacted. I don't feel like this woman is just a random individual. I feel like, again, this is the British girlfriend that we have been discovering throughout the entire process. Redacted once again. The other Ghislaine Maxwell, the secondary Ghislaine Maxwell, so to speak, redacted again. Dr. Fruitsnack says, was the Hawker a different name for a plane or a code word for something inappropriate? Hawker does sound inappropriate. Hawker, I believe, is a very, very, very small jet. And then the 727 is the big one. Dr. Fruitsnack also says, oh, was it a different plane? Yeah. So I feel like what's really going on here is that in this plane, this N9OBJ whatever, that's not a 727. That's a Hawker. And this is also him in the Hawker. But the reference to 727 in the page of the birthday book is kind of where he's gone. So this was the start. This was the first plane to jump on. And if he's jumping on this plane for the first time with an American flag on the back of the fucking tail and a redacted female in his lap before he even knew Ghislaine Maxwell, who is this woman? And why are we not allowed to find out? The page is a direct and unambiguous celebration of Jeffrey Epstein's extraordinarily rapid accumulation of wealth and status. The caption, quote, "It all happened so quickly," is a boost about his seemingly effortless ascent from owning a smaller private jet, a Hawker, to acquiring a massive Boeing 727 airliner for his personal use. The scrapbook presents this as a remarkable and admirable business achievement, which it is. It is. It's definitely a huge achievement to go from a Hawker to a 727. But again, who is in a Hawker for the first time? Who is this lady? It's not just some willy-nilly lady. That lady, that redacted lady, is a British girlfriend that everyone from his entire high school and college said ruined him. The first time he was on a private jet, not with Ghislaine Maxwell, with redacted. With redacted. I'm starting to believe that Ghislaine Maxwell is just a MAGA individual that was in Palm Beach like Donald Trump. Whoever redacted is, though, that is a Democratic shill who is being protected for some deeper conspiratorial reason. Page 103. Here we go. Page 103, y'all. This is what I am supposed to like. This is what I'm supposed to like. This is what I'm supposed to like. Okay. So again, like, I think this is my interpretation of this, honestly, like, before we even get into it, is that this is some silly, goofy photos of Mr. Epstein doing some skiing, and this is Ghislaine Maxwell doing a little coy, flirtatious move in the book by saying, "Oh my God, am I supposed to like this dork? Look at this dorky clown guy." We shall see. Let's see here. The document labeled page 103 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th scrapbook is a document documenting a ski trip. The page features 3 color photographs from a ski vacation. One photo shows a man, presumably Jeffrey Epstein, smiling on a ski lift. Another shows him relaxing indoors in a ski lodge. A third, more distant shot shows a person in a red ski suit on a vast snow. Ooh. A third, more distinct shot shows a person in a red ski suit on a vast snowy slope. Handwritten. A sarcastic caption is written across the page in first person as if Epstein's himself. This is what I'm supposed to like. This page is carefully crafted piece of persona building curated by Ghislaine Maxwell to reinforce a very specific image of Jeffrey Epstein. The page documents another facet of his luxurious international lifestyle, expensive ski vacations. The sarcastic caption in the key is the key element. It is designed to portray Epstein not as someone who simply enjoys the fruits of his wealth, but as an intellectually superior figure who is bored by the conventional leisure activities of the rich. The joke is that he is too complex and brilliant to derive simple pleasures from something as mundane as skiing. I mean, that's a weird AI version of the interpretation. I think us as humans can interpret that a little bit differently. We can understand that basically what this is Ghislaine Maxwell doing a coy, female, flirtatious version of, "Oh my God, look how embarrassing you are." But confidence is embarrassing. And anyone that's ever met a woman or slept with a woman or, wooed a female individual will understand that. Is that, like, that's part of it. Is that, like, there is actual attraction to looking unattractive. There's attraction to the confidence of being yourself. And I feel like that is what this page is the be yourself, be kind situation of Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. We are saying that this is who Epstein is at his core. And Miss Ghislaine Maxwell is poking fun at it, going, "Hey, is this who you are? Oh my God, I can't believe that I knew this person. But also, you're so fucking brilliant. I love you anyway, even though you're such a dork and you're wearing this dorky memorabilia and you're so confident in it and skiing down a slope." Now, on to the next page. We're almost done tonight, guys. I just can't handle any more of this. This is getting really intense now. Page 104 is this? Is page 104? That was page 103. This is page 104. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this very much longer, guys, because it's a little tough. Sticking with it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody that stuck with me tonight, that listened to this whole fucking podcast. What a fucking awesome night it's been. We got like 5 more pages left, and then we're going to call it quits for tonight, and we're going to go on to Epstein page fucking 3 or part 3 or whatever, but here we go. Oh, we're getting into some weird shit now. There are two photos. My next is, wait, why did it do this? Oh, it was telling me the thinking. I don't need the thinking. I just need the answers. Thank you very much. All right. Page 104 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook features two candid photos with suggestive handwritten captions. Image 1. A man who appears to be an older Jeffrey Epstein standing in a brightly lit, casually looking room with a wooden paneled ceiling. Quote, heading for the blue sofa. Wake me up tomorrow. Image 2. A younger Jeffrey Epstein is shown at what appears to be a social event, talking to another person, a large black box redacted figure standing between them. Quote, he promised you what? Okay, again, he. So we know this isn't a victim of the crimes of Epstein. And it is weird that if we're not going to redact Alan Dershowitz and Donald Trump later, why are we redacting these other male figures in this situation? It makes me think that these other male figures are the ones that are really behind the crimes. Any male figure that is clearly not an abuse victim of Mr. Epstein should be exposed because you talked to Epstein. It's crazy. It's crazy because the redacteds, there's so much more there to the redacteds than we're saying. The page juxtaposed two different aspects of Epstein's persona. The top photo represents an image of simple, mundane domesticality, a man ready to take a nap. The bottom photo, however, paired with its caption, is designed to be provocative, a myth building. The question, he promised you what, frames Epstein as a figure who makes extraordinary, perhaps unbelievable offers and deals. It celebrates his reputation as a mysterious and powerful man whose promises could be life-changing or outrageous. Look, here's the thing: is like he promised you what? Like, yeah, the chat bot is interpreting that as like Mr. Epstein promised this redacted something of what? But maybe, and most likely, this is that redacted offered Mr. Epstein something. He promised you what? What if fucking redacted is Mr. Netanyahu himself? I mean, it's black enough. It's redacted enough. Who is that? Who is redacted? Right next to redacted is Ghislaine Maxwell, who's not redacted. Who's redacted? Is that the woman again? Is that the girlfriend again of Mr. Epstein that we continue to protect? Or if it's not, if it's a male figure with a married ring around his finger, is this Netanyahu himself? We don't know, but again, like, why are we redacting males that are clearly not victims in this crime? Page 105. Here we go. Not a cloud in the sky again is a reference, which is interesting because it's like it feels like they keep referencing the same things over and over again in their own birthday book with interpretation. It feels like they kind of want to hide and code their crimes inside of a binder of fucking leather that they've built. It just... I don't know how else to put it. We got 3 pages left, people. This is one of them. And I don't understand it. Page 105 of the birthday Epstein scrapbook celebrates a life of supreme luxury and leisure format. The page features a vertical stack of 3 color photographs. Running vertically down the entire left side of the page is thematic statement, quote, not a cloud in the sky. Again, not a cloud in the sky. A man, presumably Jeffrey Epstein, relaxes on a bed in a luxury hotel which has a balcony overlooking the ocean. The man, a table laden with a Valish room service meal in the same room. A view from the hotel room's balcony looking over the ocean. The page is one of the most direct and powerful expressions of a central myth of the scrapbook aims to create. It is an unambiguous celebration of the life of absolute pleasure, wealth, and freedom from all responsibility. The phrase, not a cloud in the sky, is the thesis statement. And the images of luxurious, carefree leisure provide the evidence. The page is designed to evoke envy and admiration for a man living a perfect, untroubled life in a state of perpetual vacation. It's true. It's a fake and true thought. And we did get denied on that one, so I just got to delete a few of these because I just got to get us under 100,000 tokens so that we can get the rest of these pages out. I think there's only 2 pages left tonight, but it's very fucking crazy, the redactions and how the redactions tell the story. This woman is clearly the reason for Mr. Epstein. And I don't think we'll ever find out who this woman is. I don't think we'll ever find out who the redacted woman is. And I think that Ghislaine Maxwell might have just taken the fall. That's what it looks like. Got two photos left, guys. 2 pages left. All right. Page 106. Page 106 with more redactions, including a redaction of a fucking photo. It gets even weirder when they stop redacting names and they start redacting things inside the photos. We started tonight with redactions, and we're getting more and more redactions. That's what we're getting tonight. Not the answers that we needed, but more and more redactions. I'm like the Asmongold of the Epstein files, guys. So just a little brag. Just a little brag. Hit that like button. Hit that follow. Get with me while we do these last 2 pages. And get ready for part 3. Part 3 coming soon here. I mean, especially if this fucking shutdown keeps going. If the shutdown keeps going, I might do part 3 tomorrow. If the fucking shutdown keeps going. Page 106 of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th scrapbook celebrates the graduation of an associate from whom he acted as a patron. Top item, invitation, a formal invitation from a, quote, graduation eve party. Hosts Jeffrey and Dr. Redacted. Again, Dr. Redacted. Who the fuck is Dr. Redacted? Event, cocktails and dinner, June 8th. Location, the highly exclusive Bel Air Country Club in Los Angeles. Photographs, 4 heavily redacted photos, color photos depicting an outdoor graduation ceremony, an individual in a white coat holding a diploma, guests at the celebratory dinner, a man, likely Epstein, and a woman at a piano. Okay, and is the woman at the piano redacted? Redacted again. The only reason we know that she's a woman, if we go and we zoom in here, because he's kissing her, and we see the golden locks of hair. Remember earlier on the redaction of the girlfriend, we did see a dark-haired girlfriend with one of those floofy 80s, 90s dresses, which led to the belief that it could be either sex. This is clearly a blonde here. I think that this is later in his life as well, by the way. Jeffrey and Dr. Blah extraordinarily invite you to cocktails and dinner. So this is like whoever this redaction is, this fucking person he dated, who he was probably going to marry, is legitimately most likely way deeper than Miss Ghislaine Maxwell ever was. She may be an assistant that helped him get to his crimes, but who funneled the money? Where did the money come from? Well, it may have come from Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted and Jeffrey invite you cordially to this event for cocktails and donorship. Crazy. And the final one. Our final photo of the evening, people, is of Miss Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, where Miss Ghislaine Maxwell is topless. Which, again, here's the thing. Go listen to her fucking interview. She talks about how she's a prude, how she doesn't want to talk about sex, how she was never really involved with those things. She saw massages, but the massages were massages, and they weren't really a big deal, and there wasn't really a thing going on. Bullshit. Bullshit, guys. Look at this right here. Look at this fucking shit right over here. Right over here. This way. Right over here. I swear to fucking God, guys. That's crazy. That's crazy that we can be in this world where Ghislaine Maxwell and Mr. Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, redaction, her topless tits are the redaction. Redaction, Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted pedophiles, topless tits. Ooh, goody, goody, goody. She was definitely a prude. We now know Ghislaine Maxwell is nothing but a liar. Nothing but a liar. And that is proven through the fact that she did that interview. And we are sitting here with Miss Ghislaine Maxwell's tits. We are sitting here with Miss Ghislaine Maxwell's huge, giant fucking knockers being redacted. Let's see if AI is like, it's redacted her giant fucking tits. Her pedophile tits. It is arguably the most infamous and revealing image of the Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday scrapbook. It only is because Ghislaine is acting like she was never involved in this fucking behavior. Boys will be boys is what she says, but at the same time, she is literally defiant in facting that she is not a part of the internal conspiracy that these women are pleasing Mr. Epstein without their authority or will. I think that Miss Ghislaine knows that these women were performing for Mr. Epstein, and I think that Ghislaine knows that these women were performing and thinks that they are liars and connivers and manipulators, and that these women were after Mr. Epstein's money. And I think that notion, while powerfully being possibly true, is what led to Miss Ghislaine Maxwell being in prison, because she profoundly defended against the victims in a way that allowed for the victims to come at Mr. Ghislaine Maxwell and fucking Mr. Epstein in the deepest, most contorted way possible. A color photograph showing Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell embracing in a swimming pool. Epstein is behind Maxwell, holding her arm. She is laughing and looking at the camera. A large black square has been placed over Maxwell's chest and torso, suggesting she was topless or nude in the original photograph. Scrawled across the top of the photo in a personal message, quote, "Happy birthday, love, Ghislaine X." This is the most direct and personal, intimate entry in the entire scrapbook from its curator, Ghislaine Maxwell. The photo is not a formal portrait, but a candid, playful, and highly intimate snapshot suggestive of a romantic relationship between the couple on vacation. A signed note transformed the photo into a personal birthday card from Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein, cementing her central role not just as the book's creator, but as his primary partner in crime. I say in crime because it's a crime. The single image is a devastating and powerful piece of evidence speculating the core deception of the heart of the Epstein-Maxwell crime enterprise. The photo is the ultimate visual proof of the long-standing, deeply intimate relationship between Epstein and his chief accomplice. It irrevocably frames their connection not as a business arrangement, but as a romantic partnership. This intimacy was the engine for their criminal enterprise. The act of using a joyful, loving, quote, couple's photo as a tribute is a grotesque and deliberate act of propaganda. It seeks to normalize and romanticize a partnership that was, in reality, detected to systematically sexually abuse and traffic minors. It is a scrapbook's most potent attempt to launder a criminal reality through the imagery of a loving relationship. The black box hiding Maxwell's nudity is a perfect and damning metaphor for their entire lives. It is a visual admission of a hidden, transgressive, private reality that must be concealed from the very public that they viewed, standing in direct contrast to the happy, carefree facade of photos attempted to project. The image powerfully illustrates the dual nature of their world, a glamorous, public-facing romance built upon a foundation of dark criminal secrecy. That's the last one tonight, guys. You can drop off, you can get off this, you can go to a different show. That's the last one tonight. We're gonna come next tomorrow to H. Ledrin, which again, I mean, I can only assume means children. What are we gonna interpret this as? If I put this into my chat bot, let's see what the chat bot says that the next part will be. But that was the end of book 2. What we just went through today was the end of book 2. Guys, I think Ghislaine Maxwell is in on it. But I also am still, after part 2, I want to know who this fucking female was who was redacted in most of these materials. I wonder if I ask that question, if I will get an answer here. Let me see. Who do you think? Who do you think is redacted early girlfriend of Epstein that is very similar investigative guess. All right, let's see if Mr. Gemini will help us out here and finding out who this other female is. But with that said, before we get to that, let's go to our last page of the night, page 108, in stark minimalist page from Jeffrey Epstein's 50th scrapbook that serves as a thematic divider. The page is a solid black field. At the top of the page, the words children, written in large white text, font resembling chalk. The letter C and I are missing, so it reads H. Lidrin. The page functions as a title card, including a new section of the scrapbook. The theme of this next section is unambiguously children. The childlike font and the simple, direct presentation are meant to evoke a sense of innocence and introduce memories related to childhood, either Epstein's own or those of other children in his life. Yee. That's a tough one, guys. So when we see you for part three starts with the category of not girlfriends like we did tonight, but the category of children. Children as a category in the Epstein birthday book. That is where we will start for part 3, is in children of the Epstein book. According to the letter sent to House Oversight Committee by the executors of Epstein's estate, the redactions were made, quote, in an abundance of caution to ensure that no prominent victims are publicly identified. They are redacted names and faces of women and minors who appear in the books, quote, other than Miss Maxwell, public figures, and family and other photos and class photos. Therefore, the identities of the person in question is official and intentionally concealed in the public record. Based on the functions to provide facts only, I cannot make an investigative guess. Well, let me take the facts only off the fucking thing. Make your best speculation of who this woman is. Woman is based off investigation from the internet. I want to know who this fucking first girlfriend was, and they're being really coy about it. Publicly known relationships to Jeffrey Epstein were Mrs. Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent and long-term former girlfriend, partner, and accomplice, as documented throughout the scrapbook and in her criminal trial. Evan Anderson Dublin, a physician and former Miss Sweden, is publicly known to have dated Jeffrey Epstein for several years in the 1980s, prior to his relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. She remains friends with both Epstein and Maxwell for years after their romance relationship ended. Beyond these publicly... Okay. So that's the thing. I think it might be the Swedish lady. But again, I don't know that that necessarily means that that's who it is. Okay. I cannot speculate on the identity of the redacted individual. My purpose is to provide factual information based on the variable. The redactions were made by the Epstein Estate's legal team before the book was released to the public, precisely to protect the identities of individuals who are not public figures or to shield prominent victims. Attempting to investigatively guess who is behind the redaction would undermine the purpose. I understand that. What is publicly documented is the relevant and relevant is that Eve Anderson Dublin was a significant long-term girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein throughout the 1980s and into the 1990s, preceding his relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. Public reports have confirmed that she and her friends remained there. she and her family remained friends with both Epstein and Maxwell for many years afterwards. However, confirming whether she or any other specific individuals and person behind the redaction is impossible and will purely be guesswork. Okay, but let's see this though. Using the best guess you can. Is Eva Anderson Dublin redacted in the Epstein files and therefore could be this person? Let's see. It will either confirm or deny that she is a redacted individual in the Epstein files. And if she is confirmed to be a redacted individual in the Epstein files, then I think we have our girlfriend after part 2, Eva Anderson Dublin of Swedish fame. She was Miss Sweden, which again is the tie to Mr. Donald Trump himself in the whole like pageantry world. And maybe Miss Sweden had some ties before Miss Maxwell that allowed for all this to happen. While I cannot speculate and make a definitive best guess to identify the redacted person, I can provide the publicly documented facts about Evan Anderson Dublin's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and her presence in the related court records. This will allow you to understand why her name is often part of this conversation. Here are the keys. Variable facts. Long-term girlfriend. Evan Anderson Dublin was a publicly known long-term girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein for many years, primarily through the 1980s and into the early 1990s. The relationship was established and serious, preceding his partnership with Ghislaine Maxwell. It is a matter of public record that after their romantic relationship ended, she and her husband, billionaire Glenn Dublin, remained close friends with both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for decades. Evan Anderson Dublin was a significant figure in Epstein's sex trafficking trial. She was called by the prosecution to testify, and her testimony included details about her relationship with Epstein. This legally places her within the core narrative of the Epstein files. Despite testifying for the prosecution, Anderson Dublin also wrote a letter to the judge in support of Ghislaine Maxwell prior to her sentencing, highlighting their long and complex friendship. Because Evan Anderson Dublin was a significant long-term romantic partner to Epstein during the era depicted in many of the scrapbook photos, it is entirely plausible that the persona identify intimate photos of her would exist and be included in the Book of Memories. The redactions in the scrapbook were made by Epstein's estate to protect the privacy of individuals who are not current public figures or prominent victims. A photo of former girlfriends from the time could certainly fall under the category of person whose privately would be protected by redaction. Evan Anderson Dublin is a confirmed long-term romantic partner of Jeffrey Epstein from the relevant time period, and her time in variably present in the court files and trial testimony. While this establishes the photos of her with Epstein certainly exist to state definitively that she is the person behind any specific redaction in the scrapbook would be a speculation. The facts confirm her deep connection, but the redaction makes identification impossible. So just to reconfirm, I'm going to ask my chat bot real quick at the end of this one. And guys, drop a chat if you need any questions before we end this stream tonight. But I'm going to ask it if there are any other prominent figures that it could be, and if not, would this most likely be her? Eva is not listed. Is not publicly listed in this book. So it could be her that is the early long-term girlfriend that is redacted. Are there any other leads or possibilities for this really long-term friend from Europe that is redacted? Let's see. This might be the end of it, guys. I also want to pull up a photo of this fucking bitch because this feels like this is the person that should be in prison. She's also a billionaire to this other guy. So she married a billionaire. And that's why. What Jeffrey Epstein really wants with his ex-girlfriend's teenage girls. What the fuck? This is fucking wild. Getting all these images. It's so strange. Is there an Epstein image? So I'm getting a lot of images of her with her husband. Epstein girlfriend Dublin says her kids called him Uncle Fuck. Anderson IMDb. Anderson IMDb. That's her. Is he giving it to him? That's her. That's what we're after. This person right here. This one has this lady right here. It's interesting because when you do shows like this, you don't think you're going to actually gain true and authentic information about somebody. But then you start to you play the game. You look at it all and you see what it really is. You see that I wanted to sympathize with Ghislaine Maxwell from the beginning because I felt like she was witch hunted because of the way that she orchestrated her story. I didn't necessarily understand the complexities of that witch hunt because I wanted to just go on her side. I just wanted to be on her side and be like, yeah, Ghislaine's right. It's not until I see things like this that I realize that's not a victim. That's not a victim here. This lady, not a victim. Not a victim. And in Miss Universe from Sweden in the 1980s, met this man. And then the man became inherently rich behind his, like, beyond his wildest expectations. And every person that ever met this Miss Universe Norwegian crazy girlfriend said that's exactly what she is. She's a crazy, insane girlfriend. And we're about, we just blacked out, so I'm gonna finish this real quick here, and then we'll be done. But I don't think mixed